I saw a Reddit post earlier today which suggested that the universal ornament price in the Eververse store was 25% more expensive if you were purchasing it with Bright Dust than it was prior to Ash and Iron going live yesterday. So I've put it up Destiny 2 here just to have a look. I did in fact buy the Hunter Universal Ornament yesterday with Bright Dust because I thought it looked pretty good. It's this one here, White Wolf Grips, which I think is from the Witcher collaboration that they did a while ago. I think they look pretty cool. I didn't get them with silver because I don't spend silver. But I think they look pretty good, so that's why I bought them. But they currently cost 1,500 Bright Dust. And I couldn't remember how much Universal Ornaments used to cost. I don't have that ingrained into my mind, so I did some research. But if we quickly swap over to the Reddit post that I saw, it's by Choco Milk X, which I have to say is quite a good name. I can get behind some chocolate milk. But they suggest that it used to be 1,200 per piece, and now it is 1,500 per piece, and aptly point out that that would be 6k per set, and now it's 7.5k per set, which means that if you're buying a full armor set, you're spending 1,500 extra Bright Dust, which is in fact the cost of one of the armor set, like one of the universal ornaments currently. So it's quite the hefty increase. 25% isn't small, especially in something with costs over 1,000 Bright Dust. So I decided to do some research. I tried to look into some articles. They didn't give me the information I wanted. I tried Today in Destiny, which doesn't give sort of archival data, so I decided to go via the weekly reset threads in the Destiny the Game subreddit, because they post the Eververse Bright Dust inventory whenever it doesn't break. So if we go down here on the, what date was this? The 26th of August, which was a couple of weeks ago, we can see that there's two Titan Universal Ornaments here, and both of them are for 1,200 Bright Dust. And then the weekly reset thread from last week, if we go down, there is then another Titan Universal Ornament for 1,200 Bright Dust as well. And this is just because they've chosen Titan as the one to highlight here. It would also be selling Hunter or Warlock, depending on what class you have. So currently, it's the Witcher collaboration Hunter Grips for me this week, but I imagine it's the equivalent for Warlock and Titan if you're on those ones this week. But that does show that it has increased by 25%. It used to be 1,200, now it's 1,500. So not a very good sign. I did go and check the rest of the gear. So I did some research with comparisons. Are exotic emotes the same price? They are 3,250, which is still quite expensive. It's the same price as it was before the update. The Ghost Shell is the same price as it would have been before the update. Same goes for Transmat Effects, shaders. It's all the same price it used to be. It is just Universal Ornaments as far as I can find, which have went up in price. So there is a response from the Destiny 2 team on the Reddit post. So they've said, thanks for the report. Can confirm this is a bug, and we are currently investigating a fix for the future. With 70 downvotes, which isn't surprising, especially given the community sentiment currently. But it does beg the question of, was this a bug or was it intended? I tend to side on the sort of more friendly side, I suppose, and give the benefit of the doubt, which is difficult to give Bungie nowadays. But I would be more inclined to say it's a bug, because it only affects one item. If the entire shop had been 25% increased, then I'd be more inclined to say it was intentional. Having said that, they could be testing the water to see if people don't notice, or if people are okay with it. This response here could also just be, expectation management, or trying to settle things, and then maybe people forget, and then they do it with something else. So they could be going that route, but I also do genuinely think it's just a bug. Even with that, they say that they're investigating a fix for a future update. They don't say the next update. They don't give timelines. They just say for a future update. So I suspect that it will be a few weeks before we see this resolved. And I'm assuming there'll be Universal Ornaments sold for a few weeks here. I don't know if they sell them every week. I can't remember. But there'll at least be a few more which are sold, I would imagine. And that means that if you were to purchase them, you're spending 25% more Bright Dust than you would be prior to this season. And it's incorrect. They've confirmed it's a bug. Therefore, it's their mistake. It shouldn't be the case. So whenever they rectify it, whoever bought these ornaments should get refunded the 300 Bright Dust. Now, in the past, I think they have done similar things to this, where they've refunded the currency that people used. However, I think there's been two routes they've went. They've either refunded the specific people, or whenever they've not been able to track who actually bought the thing, they then just give it to everyone. So sometimes you have like a bonus Bright Dust offering in the shop. I think I had one this week. maybe they'll go down that route of they'll just give everyone a blanket 900 bright dust extra. At the end of the day, what harm does it do to them? So they could go down that route. But we'll see what they do. At the very minimum, I would expect the people who have purchased the universal ornaments during the period of time where it's more expensive to be refunded the amount of bright dust which they spent. Because whilst I am not too annoyed because I have over 4,000 bright dust, it doesn't affect me too much. I don't spend it very often. There will be people who have 1,000, 2,000 bright dust where purchasing this will set them that back entirely. 200 or an extra 300 bright dust will be a lot more impactful to them than it will be to me. And that's sort of why I would say if you are concerned about how much bright dust you have, or you just want to wait until things are resolved, I wouldn't be buying universal ornaments currently because they do cost 300 bright dust more than what they should do. And it's not confirmed in any capacity that we will be getting a refund. I would expect it from Bungie to do that, but I don't know if they will. That's sort of it. The other things, as I say, do cost the price that they used to cost, so that's fine. They're good to purchase. But this one here in particular, the universal ornaments, anytime that these are sold before they fix this, it's going to be 25% more expensive. I wouldn't be purchasing it, but I do somewhat regret purchasing this now because I didn't realize it was more expensive. But hey, we'll see what they do. Let me know if you think it's a bug or if you think it's intentional. Are they testing the borders? Who knows? But either way, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.